everyone, welcome to Till Vacuum Do Us Part. If you're new, welcome. My name is Ashley and I'm really excited to have you today. We're going to be doing some DIYs on the outside of the house today because it is gorgeous here, so we're going to get done as much as we can. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe, but now let's get straight into today's video. Okay, the very first place we're gonna start is our shed outside. We've had this for about 4 years, and so it's seen better days. Plus we've moved it to like the front of our yard so you can see it, you know, really close to the road now, and we want it to blend in with our house. We've recently painted our house white and black, kind of farmhouse style, and we want this shed to match. My husband Chase is gonna help me, and I'm so glad he did. This project ended up taking so much more time than we thought, but we're just gonna go ahead and start with our paint that we used. I'm going to be showing that here in a second, but we're going to go ahead and get started painting. I also wanted to let you guys know that this is a collab with Emily from Mama from Scratch. She has an incredible DIY channel. You guys do not want to miss out on it. Be sure to click on the link down below in my description box to watch her video after watching mine, and you will not be disappointed. You guys have been enjoying my DIY videos so much, so you will love her entire channel. She even does some like Dollar Tree DIYs, so they're affordable, and she does all of these on her own. I have to have Chase's help, but she just does it without her husband, which I think is incredible. So definitely head on over there and watch her video after watching mine. So if you're new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Ashley and that is my husband Chase. We met in 7th grade. We have one little girl. She's 10 years old and she's our only child that we homeschool. So we definitely aren't your normal family. If you like DIYs and home upgrades, we've definitely been into those lately while we're working on turning our home into our dream home. I also love cleaning and organizing. I despise cooking, so if you ever see a cooking recipe on my channel, it's super easy and quick. So if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and join our family on here. We also have a vlog channel where I do everything that's not cleaning and home related, so you can definitely follow us there as well. The link is down below in my description box. Okay, now I'm going to give you a quick look at what we're using. It's just some paintbrushes, a roller, we have paper towels out there. This is the paint we use for the outside of our house. We used it on the brick. It's not what I use on the inside, but we like to use pure white, so that's what the brick is on our home. If you ever see the inside of my house, that's what our kitchen table is. So that's what we're going to be using on this shed. And I will say it's not a huge difference, but in real life the shed was gray and I really wanted it to be white to match my house. So we thought we would go ahead and paint it. It did take so much paint. So if you have a tin shed like this, go ahead and make sure you have 2 gallons. I think we used about 1.5 gallons. So if you're going to be painting, and that's even like gray on white, we weren't even going, you know, like a huge change difference. Maybe if you're going darker, you would be fine, but we definitely used a lot more paint than we were planning on. Okay, while we're painting this, I'm going to go ahead and show you some other DIY projects that we work on. It is a different day, so we're in different clothes, but it's been super rainy here, so we've just had to film when weather permits. But this is Chase's like work desk. It's collapsible, it's super easy to set up. I have it in my Amazon store if you're looking for a good like Father's Day gift or just guy gift. But in a recent video, we made DIY planters. They were super cute, I love them, but I wanted to make a little bit more affordable and easy budget because a lot of you women were wanting to do it. So the wood on this only cost $17 because they're like fence posts, so anybody can make this. These are the plants that we're going to use. They were the ones that were originally in the front of our house, but they're from Amazon. They're affordable, they're in my store. We put them in like super cheap plastic planters from Lowe's and added rocks, but now we're going to make some pretty planters for them. Obviously, we're going to start off just by measuring and cutting. If you can't do this, Lowe's will do it for you for free. I don't think they're doing it right now just because of like human contact, but once everything gets back to normal, you can definitely just buy your wood there and let them cut it. Just take them the measurements, and I will leave the measurements that we used down below in the description box. But this is what it looks like, and we're making 2 of them. And then you just make a box or a square, and then you can decide how tall you want them. We did a 4 high just because this was a little bit thinner wood, but if you wanted to go taller, you could even do 5 high. Just depending on, you know, how grand you want them or just normal. Definitely do what works best for you. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and do 4. You can see him stacking all 4 right here. And then to secure them, he's just going to nail gun a board in there just to make sure they stick together. Now on the ones we put in the front of our house, we did do a bottom, but for these, we want to be able to move them since we have to like weed eat and mow around them, and it's just more convenient for us. But you could definitely add a bottom if you wanted to, and then I'll show you how they turned out. They're absolutely beautiful, and I'm so happy how they look. Okay, I will be staining these in a second, but I want to take you back to the shed so you can see how it's going. I'm still doing that first coat on it. I just did the whole side, and now I'm doing the back of it. So basically with the paintbrush, I'm doing more of that trim that's on the front, and then Chase has the roller and he's going in between just to kind of speed it up. And like I said, if you have something like this, 2 was a lot easier. You could definitely do it by yourself, but it will take more time. So if you can have a friend come over, or a boyfriend, or a husband, or you know, your son or daughter, definitely get some help because it will speed up the process. I did want to also mention that I didn't prime this because it is a paint and primer in one, and it is a more expensive can of paint. If I were to get like a cheaper one, I would go ahead and prime it, but this was all built in for it. It was made for the exterior, so we went ahead and skipped that part. So this is what the first coat looks like. It's definitely splotchy. We end up having to do about 3 coats and then a 4th one of touch-up, so it did take a lot. But now we're going to head back over into the staining of the planters. This is what I'm using. I used this recently on my other planters on the front of my house, and I will say it stained completely different from the other wood. It took so much darker on like this fence post wood, so definitely keep that in mind if you're going to use this kind of wood. Get a stain that's really light, because this is the same stain right here, and I love this color. But if you look over there to the side, this is the same stain, but it, like I said, it just took so much darker. You'll see what it looks like at the end. We may eventually remake these. For now, it's good, but I was super shocked at how different the stain looked on each different set of wood. So when I'm staining, I typically like to use a paintbrush to put the stain on. It's just so much easier than painting. I'll stain it, and then when I'm finished, I go ahead and take a rag and wipe off any excess. And you only have to stain with 1 layer. You don't have to do multiple layers. I think that's why it's easier than painting. You can also use just a cloth to stain, like dip it in the stain and rub it on there, but this wood was really rough. If you have a sander, I would probably sand it first before you stain it, and maybe that would have helped with it soaking in. Maybe it would have taken better. I don't know. I didn't have a sander, so I just kind of went with it, and it went dark, but you'll just see me kind of brush it on, and then I'll take a rag and dry it off. Okay, now I'm going to start working on the inside, and what's nice about the inside is you don't have to stain the whole thing. So my plastic planter is going to be going in there that's already full of rocks, so there's no reason to stain an area that's not going to be seen. So I kind of like to just do the top layer and the corners because that's really the only things that's going to show. And I don't want you to look in and see that raw wood. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and stain that very top part because the rest of it won't be seen at all. Okay, now back to the shed. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting another layer on. We did axe the whole paint roller. It was just soaking up too much paint and it wasn't getting enough on the shed. So we're both gonna just use paintbrushes. You can also see that big bee flying around me. I seriously thought I was gonna get stung on camera, but it didn't happen. But also look up in the sky. I have this like super sped up, and if you see the clouds moving, I don't know, it is just so beautiful and peaceful to watch. So you can watch me paint, but that's kind of boring. I would look up and just watch the sky for a little bit. Okay, I kind of wanted to show you how it was going and show you the before and after so you guys can see the white, and then the gray doors are what color it used to be. So it's not this huge dramatic difference, but I like that it's going to blend in with our house now. We were going to paint the roof black, but this thing was soaking in so much paint and I felt like the roof looked really well now that the sides were white, and it matches our current like house roof really well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off here, and then my husband's going to re-tape before we paint the doors. We were going to do the doors black, but since we're not painting the roof black now, we're just going to go ahead and paint the doors white. But let's move on to the next project now. Okay, so for the next DIY, we're going to be painting this bench. It's our outside bench. We always have like cushions and pillows on it, but I like to refreshen it every year, and it's so easy and cheap to do. Just grab a can of spray paint. You can paint it any color you like, so you can pick something up like this at a garage sale or Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. It can be a fun pop of color. I don't like color, so we're going to stick with the black. And I am going to kind of show you a before and after. I'm going to paint one side of it and then compare it to the other side. So it's, once again, it's not this huge extreme difference, but the left side just looks and feels brand new, and I never have to just see it like faded and worn, and I just love that. And since it's so easy to do, it's just worth it to do it like in the springtime before summer gets here, so it feels like new furniture, and then I don't want to go out and buy new items. Okay, so here's the before and after, and you can just tell the left is so much shinier, and it looks like it just came from the store. Now granted, it's still drying, so you see a few splotches there on the bottom. If you're trying to save money on paint, or you're just using an old can of paint and don't have a lot, you don't have to do that seat, because if you have cushions there, it's not going to show. This was a brand new bottle of spray paint, so I went ahead and spray painted it all, but you definitely don't have to do those parts like on the bottom that's not going to show. I went ahead and sprayed the back of it as well, but if you have it like against the house or against the shed, you technically don't have to spray it that often. But there was something just super satisfying about this, and you can just tell it looks nice and new and fresh again, and that's kind of the goal, is just to keep your space feeling new and fresh, and that way you don't want to buy a new dream house, you don't want to go and spend more money, you just kind of use what you have and repurpose it and make it feel new again. Okay, now we're gonna work on the doors, and so Chase is gonna go ahead and tape it off so we don't mess up that like dark brown color. So he's just gonna tape it off right there real quickly, and then we're also gonna go ahead and remove the hardware so we don't have to worry about painting around it. It just goes better that way. Otherwise you're gonna get paint on it and it's gonna look cheap, so definitely just take the time. He's gonna go ahead and take the left door. I'm gonna go ahead and take the right. You can tell it has been a long day. My hair's a hot mess. I have paint on my rear. It's just been a long day. I've been sitting down and painting in the grass For some reason, me and my husband are turning into twins. Ever since he came home to work with me, we just like dress alike now, and we get ready in separate rooms and we'll come out and have the same thing on. But you guys all know it was my style first. I've never worn color. I think we both put white shirts on just because we knew we were going to be working with white paint, but I just thought it was hilarious that we had the exact same outfit on. Okay, now we're going to go back to the planter project because we're not finished yet. We need to go ahead and seal these since they're going to be outside. It rains a lot here in Oklahoma, especially in the springtime. So I like to do 3 coats of this seal. I went ahead and put it up on the screen, so if you want to know what to get, that's what we get. And it's not like a satin finish or anything. It's very natural, so it doesn't look like there's a gloss or anything on it. So that's what I suggest when you're working with wood, especially outside. It does have like a glue-like white creamy look, but it dries clear. So if you open it up and it looks white, don't panic. That's normal. It's going to dry normal and you won't even notice it's there. So it was just a beautiful evening, and Savannah was out riding her bike in front of the house, and so I just sat outside, and you're supposed to let it dry 2 hours in between. I didn't do that exactly every time, and I promise you it's fine. You can wait the 2 hours, or you can just wait until it feels dry and then go ahead and add the next one. Just in case you're wondering, I'm not talking to myself out there. Chase is off to the side, sitting down, so I'm talking with him. I'm not crazy, but I feel like this is a step you want to skip, but it's so easy to do and so quick, and it's worth it because it just makes your pieces last so much longer, especially if they're going to be outside, so definitely don't skip that. Now we're going to go back to the doors. You can see we're on our second coat here. The doors actually didn't take near as long as the rest of it. We got to knock it out real quickly, so we're almost to the end, but I still have a lot more to show you, and I still have to decorate this area out here, and I'm going to be showing you what it looks like from the street so you can see how it matches our house, so definitely do not click off yet. Side note, I know we need a paint sprayer. Now that we have like painted the outside of our house and the shed, it's probably a little late, but we do need to invest in one. I need to just find one I like because it would have saved us so much time on this shed, and Chase painted all the gutters, so we need to just bite the bullet and do it. But here's how it turns out. It looks so fresh and new again, and now we're going to go ahead and start decorating around it. We are outside a lot, and I like to have just a cozy place to sit. So I'm going to put the bench out there that we spray painted so it looks nice and fresh. Not all the pillows, I had to just shop my house. I shopped mainly the outside of my house and different seating areas to freshen up this look since we can't go into stores, and I feel like pillows can be so expensive online. So I just shopped my front porch and my back porch and my garage, and we're going to make a nice little seating area out here. Okay, now we're gonna bring those green plants in that we made the planters for. These are super heavy because we have it full of rocks just so it won't blow away or down in the Oklahoma wind. So I had Chase go ahead and carry them in from the garage and set them back here. And now we're gonna go ahead and take those wood planters, and since we didn't have the bottom, we can just slide it over them and then we can move them easily. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it has a very Christmassy feel, and I tried all different pillows. I was trying everything to figure out what it was, and I think it's the dark stain that's throwing it off. So I think we're gonna eventually have to remake those just to make it a little bit lighter, but hey, it'll be perfect during the Christmas time, so I can't wait to take a picture there in the snow. But I'm gonna show you a little bit of the afters here, but if you stay until the very end, I'm gonna show you some shots from the road so you can see what it looks like. So definitely hang out until the very end of today's video. Okay guys, we're gonna end it here. That was so much more work than I ever thought it was going to be, but I'm glad it's done. It took a lot of pain. We weren't expecting that. But if you're new here and enjoy home DIYs, home updates, cleaning, definitely subscribe because you're gonna see all that over here on my channel. And don't forget to head on over to Emily's channel, Mama from Scratch, and check out all her DIYs. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.